So halfway through the canola oil cleanse, that's when I start feeling it. But, hi guys, how you doing? This is Isaac, the full-time Anderson.
This is Tyler. I got promoted at work, Keen.
Hey, look at that! We both got promoted at work! All right, yeah!
It's not a pay raise, but I do increase my membership level.
And also, look at this. We have a bunch of new lights that you can't see, but a lot of big things have happened this week. And get this? You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm
One,
ready.
two. Oh, no, sorry. There we go. All right, we have two camera angles. Sorry,
What? Camera
almost
one?
made to look like a fool there.
Camera 2? Camera 1?
You ready?
Camera
Back
1?
here. Awesome.
Where's camera 2?
You know, this is camera 2 right here. Anyway, guys, this is a movie show where we talk about movie news.
Movie reviews.
And every single thing in between. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. We really do appreciate it. And even though things are different, things will always be the same. And speaking about always being the same, but changing up slightly, Andy Serkis, the man responsible for Gollum and assistant directing on the Hobbit movies.
So you talking about? I've heard of this. I've heard about this. The guy that should have got Academy Award for the War for the Planet of the Apes.
Absolutely. He is directing Venom 2.
Venom 2. The first one didn't Sony give us like the superhero equivalent of bread? So now they're giving us Circus, and I'm actually down for
Wait,
this.
the cinematic equivalent of bread?
Yeah, the superhero cinematic equivalents of bread. There's no flavor.
Well, that's not true. Bread has tons of flavor as long as you eat the right kind of bread.
White
okay,
bread.
That makes more sense. But anyway, Andy Serkis is going to be directing this this movie. Apparently, he's a big fan of the character Venom,
Ooh.
and he has directing credits on, I believe, what's the new Jungle Book movie that we saw one trailer for and never heard about again.
The one that was really disturbing.
Yeah, and like that we never nothing has come out about that after that. It's kind of crazy. But what do you think about him directing Venom 2?
I hope he stays longer in this film than he did in Black Panther.
Oh yeah, I mean I imagine he will. He seems like a big fan of these kinds of things, you know. And also, we know Andy Serkis is a pretty great performer, and usually performers that transfer over to the director's chair usually have a different perspective on directing than like just a typical director would. And everybody knows Andy Serkis is just a really talented performer. In case you don't know who he is, he did Gollum, and he also did Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies. He's done plenty of things other than that, but also Tom Hardy himself, the mumbler jumbler, is going to be writing this, part of this.
Oh, I'm excited for this. No way Sony can screw this up.
If it's one thing that Sony is known for, it's quality filmmaking. And we can just trust that Sony, like, we just know no matter if like Andy Serkis gets out of line, Sony's gonna be like, hey, yo, no. Does this serve the story?
I trust Amy Pascal with my life.
I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, this is, like, Sony, bravo. I mean, for real. Like, Andy Serkis, you know, he's all right. But Sony, you guys have my trust.
They can build a franchise.
They really can. I mean, that Amazing Spider-Man 2, what a hit!
Men in Black, the new one that just come out.
Oh my goodness, man, it was so fantastic. But any final thoughts on the Venom 2?
I can't explain this. I'm really conflicted about it. I like Andy Serkis. See, I hear names, I hear promises that sound really great, but the promises come from a horrible source.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's like the uncle that promised to stop drinking, but you know he's going to keep drinking. You know.
Yeah.
It's just it's not going to change.
So there you have it. Sony is your drunk uncle that just won't quit.
Yes.
There you
I'll
go.
clean my life up. Don't worry. I'll make it to Christmas this year, but it never really does.
Well, speaking about making it to Christmas, Home Alone and Night at the Museum are getting Disney Plus reboots.
Oh, yeah.
Because we need that.
Okay, I had some ideas for this. Will Red Letter Media be involved in this film?
I sincerely hope so, but Disney Plus is involved, so most likely not. The amount of crap they have talked about Disney.
That is true.
That would be wonderful. In case you don't know, Red Letter Media is friends with Macaulay Culkin.
Well, you can almost say he's one of the crew.
He is almost one of the crew, which is it's pretty wonderful. But this is going to happen, and obviously they're probably going to go in a different direction with it. First off, I think I should get this out of the way. Would Home Alone work today without cell phones?
It would not, because he could immediately call the police.
Yeah, well, I mean, he tried to call the police in the movie, didn't he?
Or like
I'm talking like cell phones. Like you would always be able to get in touch with them, and
his Mom, I'm at home, and they turn around and come pick him back up from the airport.
or like without the internet or something. You know, it wouldn't work really.
Or like if they were competent criminals, that actually had a gun.
Well, I mean, like he can be in the airport and like text his mom. It's like, "Where you at, yo?" And got on the plane with them. Simple as that. But also, Night at the Museum is getting a reboot too. It feels like we just had one of those not long ago, didn't we?
I think Rami Malek was in it.
Rami Malek was in the last one. Didn't we have like 2 or 3 of these? I think. And Ben Stiller was in it, I think. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen these movies.
It had old people in it.
It had old people in it. But what do you think about these movies getting remade, period?
Why?
I think we've already established that. It's, like, we're going to get this money.
Oh, that's it. I forgot money makes things move.
Absolutely. And that's pretty much the only reason these things exist. Disney Plus, we've talked a little bit about Disney Plus in the past. They're really trying to move everybody to the streaming service, and it's been announced, I think it's going to be like a $12.99 streaming service with that, Hulu, and ESPN.
Now, I'm excited for this because it's going to start the war of the streaming services. You have every studio that has their own streaming service, and they're not going to last. They're going to fail. You're going to have something that's going to get absorbed. It's just going to be, they're going to be all-out war. They're going to lower all their, I guarantee you, they're probably within 2 years, it's going to be like $1 for subscriptions.
I mean, they're probably going to be selling them like a nickel a pop, basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, Disney, like I always say, it's just like they make really like bland, solid movies, and for the most part, you know, they make good, competent films, but nothing really blows me away about them because they try to appeal to pretty much everybody all in one, which usually makes a movie not very fun to watch.
We get another Star Wars.
We get
Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
But as far as them rebooting this, I don't particularly care. I don't really care about getting Disney Plus very much. This doesn't make me want it anymore. I'm just curious to see how exactly they're going to go about this. Especially like I don't think like once again Home Alone. I don't think it would work in the real like modern day world. It worked back in the '90s. And Night at the Museum. I feel like we just got over that. Why do we need to reboot it? Again, money. But any final thoughts on this?
Yeah, I do have some final thoughts about this.
What's that?
Do you think they're going to make it? Do you think it's going to? I mean, the studio. I mean, the Disney Plus. You think it's going to last?
Yes, absolutely. They have with just the Marvel stuff and like all the catalog of Disney's things. Yeah, absolutely.
So you think it's going to last longer than NBC streaming service? Have like The Bachelor.
Yeah.
The Bachelor.
Well, I mean, they also have The Office, I think, because The Office is moving off of Netflix. But yeah, that's the whole thing. We don't talk about TV shows. We talk about movies.
Movies.
But speaking about movies, there was a movie trailer for an upcoming motion picture that's supposed to be starring professionals.
Isaac, why dress us up? There's another Cage paycheck coming out.
Yep, and this movie is called Running with the Devil, and it stars Nicolas Cage for some reason. Yeah. And so this trailer, I saw it, I believe it was yesterday, and I looked it up. I was doing some research on it. I couldn't find a whole lot about it, and I was wondering why. And so this movie, if you look, I believe it's by a production company that I've never heard of before, and you're about to see the name of it up here. And when I saw this, it's only had 2,000 views, I think. And I was wondering, like, is this? Yeah, it's Quiver. It's Quiver. I couldn't remember the name of it.
I remember this. My favorite part's coming up. It's going to say Academy Award winner Nicolas Cage, and you kind of think like, does that actually mean anything anymore?
No, it's like Academy Award winner Nicolas Cage, Academy Award nominee Forrest Whitaker, and Barry Pepper. Yeah. It just kind of like. Boop, boop, boop.
Or was it Lawrence Fishburne?
They could have been like star of Battlefield Earth, but I think that would have sold me. But anyway, this movie. This is going to be a direct-to-digital movie. This is direct-to-digital is essentially the new straight-to-VHS or straight-to-video. And this is directed by a guy named Jason Cabell, who I've never heard of, and I was trying to find anything else. He directed a movie called Smoke-Filled Lungs. I think he's also an actor. He's been in like a few episodes of like TV shows, and I think he played like a dead body on CSI.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting to say CSI. CSI.
Everybody's been. I know people that have been on CSI, but. The trailer in and of itself, it looks like, you know, bland.
There it was.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Academy Award nominee.
Like it actually means
Do we miss Barry Pepper? Or is Barry Pepper even...
Barry Pepper's not even mentioned.
He's in there, though. But what did you think about the trailer in and of itself?
I had some questions about it.
What was that?
Like, does Nicolas Cage go out and be like, I gotta pay like my taxes, like give me a movie, and do they make the movie so he can pay his taxes, or like
not Battlefield Earth,
or for like Nicolas Cage, or is it like we got this movie and we need somebody that's going to be in who's desperate enough, but that has an Academy Award, who's desperate enough to like Nicolas Cage.
Well, Ben Kingsley was busy. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
But I mean, the trailer in and of itself, I didn't really like the trailer all that much. I thought it looked like a bland, like generic, like a narco movie. But I don't know. It looked like a direct-to-digital movie, and it doesn't look like they're pushing it very hard. This trailer I found was like an exclusive on Collider.com. And that was the only place I could really find it. I think somebody else posted it somewhere else. But I think they're trying their best to kind of like, this almost feels like a tax write-off, like you said.
Honestly, it's either that or they're funneling money from somebody. So someone needs some money hidden.
Yeah, but it's an interesting pair. I mean, like I like those two actors. I actually do like Nicolas Cage for the most part when he's actually caring.
Well, I don't alarm you with this, but I believe Adam Goldberg is in this movie.
Adam Goldberg is in this movie too. Yeah, they had a little Saving Private Ryan reunion on that. That's kind of nice. But any final thoughts on this before we go on?
Actually, no, I have actually no thoughts on this film. It actually immediately left my brain as soon as we finished talking about it.
Not the bears!
From Mr. Nicolas Cage. I forgot we had those.
Hey, you know, if you get Nicolas Cage movies and you cut the credits out playing back to back, it's one long movie.
I thought if you played them back to back, you might want to go like kill a senator or something like it has like a weird message in it.
No, I want to go burn the Declaration of Independence.
Oh no, that only makes me want to save it. But speaking about our freedom, Wesley Snipes is going to be in Coming to America 2 because apparently they let him out of prison after his tax evasion.
Yay! Wait, I thought he's already in America.
He's in the movie Coming to America 2.
I got one question for you. The biggest question about this entire film: what's there between McDonald's and McDowell's?
What is that?
McDowell's got a salad bar.
Or that is that a joke from the movie?
Have you seen the movie?
It's been a very long time since I've seen the movie. I have seen the
McDowell's
movie.
got a salad bar.
Very creative that you repeated something from the film that we all know.
That you didn't. You didn't.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. But what do you think about Wesley Snipes being in this movie?
Is Eddie Murphy in it?
Yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah, Eddie Murphy's going to be in it. Arsenio Hall's going to be back in it.
Well, I'm down for it. Like, is Dave Chappelle going to be in it?
I think Dave Chappelle is going to be in it.
What? They're striking all my favorite notes here.
So, yeah, we talked about this a few months ago when it was announced and everything. First off, I mean, why do we need to keep, like, giving sequels to, like, these movies that we don't need sequels to? I guess it's just because we recognize the property. I mean, this is, like, a tired old question, I guess.
Well, here's the thing about this movie is back in the 80s and early 90s, this was the movie.
This is a very quotable movie. I mean, next will be Beverly Hills Cop. I mean,
you can ask your average like 18 to 20-year-old, have you ever seen Coming to America? Have you ever heard of it? Or you've heard of Beverly Hills Cop, and you'll probably get like a no out of it.
Absolutely.
Have you seen the?
We're talking to our volunteer Reagan over here. That's gracious enough to.
Have you heard of Beverly Hills Cop?
And she says yes.
Oh yeah, she has.
Reagan's cool. Reagan's cool.
Okay, she knows movies.
Yeah, she does, and that's why she runs the computer here. But as far as this goes, I haven't seen Wesley Snipes in anything in a long time.
He's been in stuff. You just ain't seen it.
Well, he's definitely been in something, and that thing is called prison.
He has been in prison. What was it, 5 years, 6 years?
I don't know, but he's past that now. Maybe he won't be smoking the jazz cabbage and like giving post-it notes to the director like he did on Blade 3. But that's a whole story in of itself. If you're interested, that'd be something you need to look up.
I heard. It was insane. You do have to see it. And I also have.
If you want to, we're not allowed to do call to actions on here, brother.
You should see it if you're curious about it.
There you go. Are you Snipes curious? Let us know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, guys, do you have anything else to add?
I was going to say about this whole film about do they have the director yet?
They do have a director. I forgot who the director was. We have talked about it before. It's one of our past episodes. Eddie Murphy was talking about it. He seemed very excited about it. He was like, guys, I'm really excited to get the story out. I'm glad to finally get the paycheck to put my kids through college. Like he was very adamant. Like he's happy.
Finally,
about it.
I'll be more famous than Donkey.
I know. Finally, we can get rid of what was the movie?
Pluto Nash.
No, it was a more recent movie where he it has like 0% in Rotten Tomatoes. Oh my goodness!
It was about.
It's gonna kill me. I'll look it up during the commercial.
1,000 words or less.
No, it's not that. It came after that. It was like not Mr. Jones, but like it was some movie he was in.
Mr. Smith.
I'll look it up after this, guys. Do you know the movie that Eddie Murphy was in that sucked really bad? I know there's a lot of them.
You gotta be more specific than that.
The most recent one that has 0% in Rotten Tomatoes. You can leave us a comment at facebook.com/studio67ncc, or you can just tell us in person if you ever see us. But you probably won't. You probably just watch us on campus, which is fine. Or you're watching us on YouTube. If you're from like the United Kingdom, let us know. That'd be awesome. Anyway, guys, we're going to take a really quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about a movie that may or may not be something that you might enjoy. I know that sounds vague, but isn't life vague? No? Well, We're going to be right back after this break, and you can find out.
MAIL is a leadership organization
that focuses on mentoring young men
to achieve leadership.
and success.
We help.
We learn,
We work.
we lead.
When it comes to culinary arts, Nash Community College is here to turn your burning passion for food into a career. Our chefs, with over 70 years of highly qualified industry experience, are here to point you in the right direction, teaching and handing down classical culinary techniques that will improve your skills and help you cut your way into the food industry. Gain invaluable experience, vital to cooking and preparing delicious food, served in a personal and creative environment. To learn more about the Culinary Arts program, visit nashcc.edu.
The movie's called Mr. Church, by the way, from Eddie Murphy's Tank. Yeah, not like, but like more like Tank. Guys, welcome back to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac the Full-Time Anderson.
I am Tyler. I'm still promoted. Ain't lost my job yet, Keen.
And guess what? We have a movie review that we're about to spit into your face, and
Calvin
you
and Hobbes.
are going to hear all about what we're about to say. That sounded kind of like gross, what we did. So anyway,
Calvin and Hobbes is our movie.
the movie this week is a wonderful movie about an Asian American family that goes over to their Chinese grandmother who is dying of lung cancer to go say their goodbyes. But the twist is they haven't told their grandmother
Big
yet.
Trouble in Little China.
Well, they haven't told the grandmother yet, so they bring all the family in and the ruse of a wedding so they can make their goodbyes while she lives in ignorance. And what a beautiful story that was. But that wasn't the movie we're reviewing this week.
Dasani did a good job in it.
Yeah, this is Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw, a movie about Mission Impossible 2 with cars.
This movie is about something and involves two muscly men fighting.
Yes.
I know that really narrows it down what we're doing, but Tyler, what is Hobbs and Shaw about for real?
If you ever see Mission Impossible 2, it's the plot for Mission Impossible 2 with insults and cars.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
Yeah.
So obviously, The Rock and Jason Statham play in this, and they play kind of two conflicting ideal secret agents that have to go get a MacGuffin that's stuck inside of what's her name? The blonde chick.
The sister.
Yeah. Well,
Shaw.
don't spoil it for people.
Shaw.
Yeah, that woman right there on the screen. I'm blanking on her name. Yep, Vanessa Kirby. I can't believe I had that written down somewhere and I didn't put it on my notes. But Vanessa Kirby's also in it, and she has some sort of virus that's going to melt people's insides or something.
But it's sealed in capsules.
Yeah, and she puts it in her hand to protect it, and then they have to protect her from Idris Elba, who's like a cybernetic guy that got killed by Jason Statham in the future or something.
She's the Thotty Newton of this film, but
Yeah.
she can actually fight.
Yes, and Idris Elba is like going around as a cyborg. He's basically the Terminator in this
Well,
movie.
actually, he calls himself Black Superman.
He calls himself Black Superman, and and then we realize that we're all a family, and we come together to attach 18 cars to an airplane. That's essentially the plot of the movie.
But the point was, one of them Samoans could hold that helicopter down.
Yes, all these Samoans, like in an elongated 45-minute sequence that basically should have had an intermission in between it.
Like each one of these guys is probably 450 pounds. I mean, these guys were like 6'9".
They're jacked guys. But Tyler, what do you think about Hobbs and Shaw?
I would have to say about the whole film is I don't remember exactly what happened because I got toward the end and I kind of forgot what happened at the beginning.
Okay, and my question to the people that made this film is, why exactly does a stupid action movie have to be roughly the length of Schindler's List?
It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yes, I got up halfway through this movie to go use the bathroom, and I looked. We weren't even halfway through the plot, and it was an hour and 45 minutes in. I'm like, we're not even in Samoa yet. How is this still going on?
Yeah.
So I enjoyed this movie as it was meant to be. This movie is, they know they're making, imagine this movie is fast food. This movie is not trying to be avant-garde cuisine. It's not trying to be smart. It's not trying to be necessarily good. It's just trying to use these two actors
To make money.
to make money, and to have funny, whippy, improvisational dialogue, and loosely veiled stories like that is basically just a connect the dots plot, and a simple got to get the thing, and click ticking clock.
She has the most deadly MacGuffin in
Yeah,
movie history.
and there's a ticking clock element too, because she's going to die in 3 days because it's going to release in her bloodstream like it was supposed to anyway.
They keep saying 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, and they go to Samoa, and they go to London, they go to Russia.
They go everywhere.
I was just thinking, like,
Oh,
what?
that's right, they did go to Russia in this movie, didn't they?
They go to like Chernobyl. He's like, they go to this godforsaken place. Like, she's in California, and then it turns out they were in like Chernobyl.
Yeah, it goes everywhere. So I mean,
Yeah.
as far as like The Rock and Jason Statham, what do you think about them like
Okay,
just together?
like pull this out, keep those two together. I thought they were great.
Yeah, they were fun together.
fantastic.
They have a really good chemistry together,
And it really feels like they actually really do hate each other.
because they probably do.
Yeah.
They probably had to Photoshop them in between each other.
Yeah.
I'd like they'd had to do on with Vin Diesel and The Rock.
And I have never seen so many witty insults.
Yeah, well, I imagine part of those were like ones they just came up with, or Jason Statham's actually a really funny guy. Have you ever seen the movie Spy, directed by our favorite director Paul Feig, director of Ghostbusters 2016? He was actually really funny.
That was hilarious, baby. Hey, because he was auditioning for the Newsies.
Yeah, he was really funny in that movie.
hilarious.
He's got some comedy chops. And the movie's actually got some pretty decent action because it was directed by a stuntman. I forgot what the guy's name was, but yeah, this sequence was pretty cool. I thought the themes of family were kind of like, does every movie have to be like, it's all about family? It's like what Carrie Fisher says about episode 8. She's like, it's about family.
It's all about.
I can't talk ill about the dead.
I believe at the end, Shaw learned the meaning of Ohana, which means no one gets left behind.
Was Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, it's Lilo and Stitch. It was like Lilo and Stitch, but if Lilo was like 5'10" and bald.
Yeah, and jacked.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, they had it was a very, very loose story. There's some really cool cameos in this. I guess very slight spoilers for Hobbs and Shaw in case you didn't want this movie spoiled for you. So, last spoiler warning. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Ryan Reynolds is in it for like 10 minutes because he showed up on set one day.
And he I felt like every bit of his dialogue was like improv.
Absolutely.
They just wrote the story around his improv.
And it was funny. He appears at one of the 18 end credit sequences that they have.
Yeah, there was a lot of them.
And I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense why he's there. Apparently, like they're best friends. He's best friends with The Rock, and The Rock doesn't like him. For some reason, I think. This movie is like one of those movies, kind of like, oh, that was fun. What happened?
And I think his co-star from Deadpool 2 was the other agent.
Yeah, I think so. Wasn't it the guy that went on Craigslist and jumped out of the plane? He died. I forgot what his name was in the movie. But yeah, that stuff was fun. And again, like the most cookie cutter of plots ever. Idris Elba was kind of fun too. He played his part a little bit more straightforward, and I thought some of the stuff it goes to complete schlock at some parts of this movie.
But not like unintentional schlock. This was on purpose. They did what they can to make it as schlocky as they could.
Like there's one scene, like in case you don't know, Idris Elba is like a cybernetically enhanced dude, and it's like this car chase, and they go under this 18-wheeler, and Jason Statham's driving this super suave car, and he goes under that. Idris Elba's on a motorcycle, and he hops off the motorcycle, holds on to the back, contorts his body to go around the wheels, and then does like a triple front flip like that you would see in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith or something, and like extreme CGI fashion, jumps back on the bike.
And it was probably like a 2 feet between the tires. He goes right between them.
Well, the thing was,
awesome. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think the movie would be better if the stunts were like practical and real instead of like stupid cartoony CGI stuff.
See, it was like he catches a truck, they blow up a truck and he catches it and he throws it and then he punches him in the face and they get up and shake it off. I'm like, that would have killed like anybody. That would immediately just splatter their heads against the wall and they're fighting him and he's just, I can take another punch. I can take another one. I'm like, the guy got a brick in the beginning, I'm not lying to you, and he just gets in pushes the brick to the guy's chest and stabs him with the brick. And then he punches them in the face, and they just shake it off like it was nothing. He kicks them like 15 feet, and they smack up against like a boulder, and I get to get up again.
Okay, but
unrealistic, extremely.
Oh yeah, like a cybernetically enhanced guy that was shot in the head by Jason Statham and is now jumping off a motorcycle. It's very realistic.
This is like Thanos fighting the Punisher, and the Punisher keeps shaking off his hits. You know, this is
Yeah, I know. I mean, you got to have a fight scene somehow,
Yeah.
and they try their best with that. But also, Keanu Reeves was supposed to be in this movie for a long time instead of Idris Elba, but then he's like, wait a minute, I have integrity, and then he kept moving on. Although all these other actors have somewhat integrity too. But I'll end on this. The movie would have been a lot more interesting and fun if it would have went the John Wick route and had like the action sequences that were like real and you could see what was going on and weren't like just cartoony things happening on the screen. Like every scene is on green screen and there's not a whole lot shot on location. Everything looks like a soundstage and it's like just like cheap motion effects. And it's just not fun, you know. It's a lot cooler. I'm like, oh wow, they actually set that guy on fire. Or wow, they're actually doing that with the car, and it's not like a fake car. Like that's what made John Wick so much fun. And that doesn't have a really good, like, strong plot either. But like in this movie, I could tell what was going on for the most part. I didn't remember it, but
yeah. I forgot the plot for the movie.
yeah, I mean, if you go in there, the character interaction was fun. Some of the improvisational, funny stuff was fun. There's just the most basic of stories, but if the action was practical, I think this movie would have been a lot better.
But between the two of them, they make this movie watchable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this movie is definitely watchable, but it goes on 45 minutes too long. And like at one point, I'm like, how in the world is this not over? And when we were on the fourth end credit sequence, I'm like, I get it. The movie, I get it.
I think a silo falls on him, and then he like gets up and shakes that off.
I think so too. I don't remember. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give this movie like a 6 out of 10.
Oh.
If this is what you're into and you're willing to carve out 2 hours and 30 minutes of your day to watch this, sure.
I mean, I give it a 6.1 out of 10, which I would prefer this over the last Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah, I would too. I liked it more than the last Fast and It's essentially on the same level of like bad. Like this is not a very good movie, but it knows what it is.
I just love how it went from like Point Break with cars, extremely serious, to two insulting super guys fighting a super strong
And
cyborg.
like and just an incredibly stupid plot.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Next week we're going to be reviewing Scary Stories You Tell in the Dark. So it was either that or Dora the Explorer. So
and I don't feel like watching Dora the Explorer.
which I don't know. Danny Trejo's Boots. I don't know. That seems pretty fun to me. But anyway, guys, we'll let you know how that is next week. I'm Isaac the Full-Time Anderson.
I am Tyler. Stay classy.
But you're not going to have a nickname? You paused like you were going to have a nickname.
They already know that I'm
Tyler.
employed.
Well, you went. I'm
employed.
Tyler.
Tyler.
Be clever or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Guys,
stay
stay
classy.
lovely. See you next week.